how you're doing. You always say you're fine. She's like, I know you're not fine. And I was just like shocked because I'm like, how would you know that? Like, I'm so like, I don't want to say fake at work, but like no one knows like what I deal with on a daily. Like,
welcome back to the Rick and Riyah show. This is episode number 5, and we live. As always, if you like it, please do subscribe, like, comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know everything that's going on, and we just going to continue to talk about real issues and real stuff as usual. And, hopefully we can bring y'all a great show today and continue to build on top of that. So jump right into it and get everything going. How was your week?
Long.
It was a long week for you?
Very long. With Christmas and work and stuff like that. It was very long. I'm glad it's over.
So you happy that the holidays are passed by?
Yes.
It makes you a lot less anxious, or?
Yeah. It's just a lot of work and effort put into it. Not for myself, but I guess so the kids can enjoy it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of little things you gotta do outside of work to make
which is the shopping, the planning, the activities, and just things that I feel like if I was a child, I would enjoy doing. So I would do that with them or plan stuff that I would think they would like.
Right. So you're just planning based on what you think they would enjoy based off like your childhood and stuff like that.
Based off of what I didn't do in my childhood or what I always wanted to do. So I guess it's kind of for me. Maybe it's 100% for me, and I'm living it through them.
Yeah, so you just basically getting them all the things that they need, which you would have enjoyed.
Right. So things that I didn't get to do, that I wanted to do, or that I feel like I would have enjoyed when I was a kid.
That's true. Just trying to provide them with the things that you would have want to happen when you was a child and all the gifts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to put all that together, especially in December. It's quite a lot of things going on in places and people doing things that you kind of just get overwhelmed with trying to plan everything and making everything just right. I think that's the problem right there. It's like you want everything just to be just right so that, the people around you will enjoy it.
Yeah. It has to be perfect or Christmas is ruined.
Right. So
that's from my perspective as a mother. But for fathers, like, what do y'all be doing? Like, I feel like as a mom, like, I plan and do everything. So then I'd be questioning, like, how are the fathers doing? How was the week for y'all? And what is your like holidays consist of?
I think it may be different for like probably different people because like for me, I don't really do much because I'm not really used to doing anything like that. So, and then like when I thought about it the other day, I was like, man, when I grew up, I didn't have like we didn't have like that Christmas spirit. So I didn't really know like anything about like celebrating Christmas. When I thought about it when I was young, I was like, because I tried to think and I was like, man, when was the last time like I remember like Christmas as a child, like a young child. And I was like, man, I don't remember it at all. Like literally like not even like people around me even talking about it. Like, so it's kind of weird for me to think about it like that because I really didn't know anything about it until I came to the United States, and I was like 8 at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at 8 years old, that's when I saw other people like celebrating Christmas and stuff like that, and I just didn't even know like what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like at all. So, but that was because I was in, like, my family didn't celebrate it, and then like the community that I was around, they also didn't celebrate it. So now when I do things, it's just like I wouldn't even know what to plan, because it's like it's nothing that I wanted to do as a child because I didn't see nobody else do nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's it's weird how we both as children didn't really do much for Christmas, and the outcome is me wanting to do the most on Christmas, and then your outcome is not, it's still just, oh, well, you don't really care about it. But we both have like the same idea, like as children growing up, we didn't have a Christmas like that.
yeah.
But for me, it made me want to do more now. Now that I'm older now, I like need to do the most for Christmas. And you, on the other hand, is the total opposite. Like, you still don't have to do anything. You don't really care about it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because, like, even though we shared the same experience like that, I think it's a little different because when you was younger, you may have not celebrated Christmas, but like you got to see other people celebrate Christmas. So it kind of gave you an idea of like things that you wanted to do because you couldn't do it, right? Like I didn't see nobody celebrate Christmas is what I'm saying. So I didn't even get a chance to even see like how people do it until I was like 8 or 9, and then at that point it's like,
But now that you're older and you see what people do, like traditions, it still doesn't do anything, like doesn't spark an interest.
nah, really, because like I was kind of like, I think that kind of got to be like I guess it got to be instilled as a young child or something like that. That's what I'm thinking, because even now, like I look at folks doing all type of stuff, right? For Christmas, their traditions, like birthdays and all that. And I just be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know. It's like nothing didn't click to where I was like, okay, yeah, I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? To make the moment special or something like that. So it just, like I say, I really didn't see anybody really celebrating it. And then even when I came over here at like 8, I was still living with, my family members, and they still didn't celebrate Christmas. So it was like, yeah, I saw like people talk about it at school at a young age, but I didn't see anybody do it in the house, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't build up nothing with no tradition or nothing like that. And that's just, I think that's kind of the reason why I operate like that, right? I think I got like my first birthday gift at like 16 years old. So it's like, I'm just kind of like, I just kind of just roll with the flow and just try to, experience what I can or do what I can. But like I wouldn't have no tradition or nothing that I would specifically want to do.
Right.
And I don't think it's ever gonna happen though.
Right.
Yeah, just like I'll probably like when our kids grow up and do something, I probably just join whatever they doing when they get older, right? Because they gonna have things that they gonna want to do and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just try to plan things that I think that they would like, and not more of about the gifts or nothing like that. Like the gifts or whatever. Like I guess I try to let them know the importance of, holidays. It's not really about the gifts or things like that. It's more of just spending time with your family and stuff like that, and like making memories, I guess. And like I know when they come back from break from school, they always ask them, oh, what did you do on your winter break, or what's your favorite, holiday tradition? And I always be seeing like the things that they write, and they'll be like, oh, my favorite, thing to do on Christmas is when we make Christmas cookies with my mom, or when we watch Christmas movies every week. Like, they remember all those things. And I think that's, I don't know, for me, that's important for me, because I know that they enjoy it, and they're going to remember that. Like, oh yeah, we always used to watch movies on the weekends, or we'd always watch Christmas movies, or make cookies, or do things like that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because they always used to ask me that in elementary school, and I used to be like, nothing. Yeah, they used to be like, hey, I ain't do nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? And then it used to be like this.
Does that make you sad?
Huh?
Does that make you sad? Like, I don't know. That would make me sad. Like, I don't know.
It's like
it didn't
something
make you feel
can't really make you sad. Like,
well, it didn't make you feel like you were missing out on anything. Like, oh, I see all these families having a great time together, and like my family don't do anything. Like, didn't that make you feel like y'all were missing something? Like, like it took something away from you.
Nah, not really, because it's like you don't really, like I said, I didn't really get to see other people celebrate Christmas, so I don't know what people did. Like,
but like when they asked you in school, like, oh, what did y'all do over break, or what was your favorite gift that you got? Like, I'm sure they asked that in school or stuff.
I was true to the religion. I just say I ain't getting no gifts. I ain't getting that. We don't celebrate Christmas and stuff like that. And then the conversation just kind of cut short like that. But yeah, like I didn't get no gifts or nothing like that at all. And I don't think like I say, it didn't bother me because I didn't know. I think like if we were like in a different community of people, like let's just say like we just didn't celebrate it, but like I had a whole bunch of friends that celebrated Christmas or something like that, then I think that kind of would have, then I probably would have had the same experience like you, right? Just trying to figure out like how to celebrate it. But like everybody around us, like my cousins, my friends, like my mom friends, like nobody celebrated Christmas due to the religion. So it's like I never even seen somebody have a Christmas tree.
So you didn't know that you didn't even know it was that you was missing anything, or there was anything to miss then, really.
Right. And the crazy part about it was I didn't even know that Christmas existed. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's weird to say, and people probably ain't gonna believe that. But
yeah. But I guess the environment you were in, everyone was not participating in that, so you had no idea.
Like literally, I didn't even know you get gifts on your birthday.
Right.
Like literally. Like
I'm not. I'm laughing because I'm laughing at you, but it's just I don't know. Like it's crazy.
It's crazy that people experience like, and I try to say that and like, like to the kids and stuff like that. But I know it's like I'm coming off hard or coming off strong to them. But it's like, I'm just telling it like literally like how it was.
Because they don't understand how you grew up, so they're never gonna understand when you say things like that, and it does come off very harsh and like I don't know, it just comes off kind of weird, like when you say things like that, because to them they don't know what that is,
right?
And I guess that's partly my fault because I didn't have birthdays either. I never went to anyone's birthday party, never had a birthday, never had anything like that. So of course, when we had kids, what did I do? I did the opposite of what I had growing up. I'm always gonna do something for them on their birthday, and I try to do the most because I know how that. I feel like it affected me as a child not having those things. But I guess like also like how you said, we didn't have family around like that. Like when we lived in Florida, all my family was in California or Mexico. Right. So we had no family where we would go to their party. So I kind of really didn't know about birthdays either like that. Unless other than school, when I got invited to birthday parties and stuff, my mom was like, no, like you can't go. We don't do that. We don't go to people's houses. We don't do sleepovers. We don't do none of that.
Right.
So, I mean, I kind of had an idea of people having birthdays and stuff, and I would think, like, how come I don't have, like, why are y'all not celebrating my birthday? Like,
right.
so.
Right. And that's why I say that's like a different experience from me, because you got to see people celebrate birthdays and stuff like that. So that's why it makes you feel that type of way. And that's why I say I understand that, because I think if I was in the same situation, I probably would feel the same way. Like, hey, I got to do a bunch of stuff because, you know what I'm saying, I didn't get to celebrate it and stuff like that. Like, I couldn't even take, I'm literally trying to think like somebody's birthday party that I went to as a child. Like, I didn't go to no birthday parties. Nobody celebrated birthday parties. It was like just weird. It's like, it's so crazy that nobody had nothing. I think one time, like, my mom, I think it had to be like my brother's birthday party, my oldest brother, and my mom took us to...
So you did have a birthday party.
Nah, he didn't have a birthday party. Like, she took us to, like, Burger King, and, like, and I only remember
but didn't say, like, okay, this is a birthday party. We're just going to go out to eat, pretty much. Okay.
It wasn't nothing like that. Like, because we didn't even expect it. Like, because we used to go, like, get fast food all the time, but the only thing that made this one different was that we went to Burger King, and back in the days, like in the 90s or whatever, when you go to Burger King, if it was like your birthday or whatever the case may be, they'll give you like the Burger King crowns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
And they had gave my brother one, and then, you know, we had asked for something. It was like my brother, a couple of his friends, and me. And then we had all asked for one, and then we had all got crowns. And that's like the only thing I remember. Like,
closest thing to a party. Well,
like,
I guess that was a party then, because it was
you
friends.
can call it a party, but nobody knew what it was. Like, literally, nobody knew what it was. And like, we just ate burgers. And then I think my mom took a picture. Mm-hmm. And I remember that picture. I don't know if she still got it or not, but
that would be cool if you still had that.
I remember that picture, and that was about it. I think I had to be like, what's crazy is I had to be like 4 years old or something like that.
No, I don't know how you remember that.
You know
I don't remember anything.
I had to be like 4 years old when that happened, and maybe like my brother was like 7 or something like that. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was like the last thing that I really remember, like going to a birthday. And even like when I came to the United States, and I think it was like 97 when I came over here. And like, even like my cousins, them, like, I didn't know like none of their birthdays or nothing like that. And they was already living over here, you feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But, you know, at that time, they were struggling and stuff like that. So, of course, they weren't like celebrating birthdays and stuff like that. So, and then from there, like, I don't know, I guess I was like kind of like nonchalant to it after that, because it was like people would talk about birthdays and stuff like that, and I just used to thought it was like weird. Like, you get, I used to be like, "Dawg, you getting gifts on your birthday?" You know what I'm saying?
When they start doing that,
right. And it was like that. So it was like, "Dawg,
people celebrate you, when you were born."
Right, and that's kind of like exactly how it was, and it was just like weird. So I looked at it from that point.
Yeah,
and then, like I said, it used to be weird because people used to say it, and I just used to be like, damn, real? For real? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like,
I think that's what kind of made it worse, I guess, for me, because, like, okay, what is a birthday? A birthday is when you celebrate someone's birth, that they're alive. I'm like, damn, why my parents ain't celebrate when I was born? Like, do they not care? Like, that shit just made me feel bad. Like, why they don't want to celebrate my life? Like,
that's true.
But I guess, I don't know. I guess it was a personal choice that they had, but also their parents didn't celebrate birthdays for them. So that's how they grew up. So I feel like it's like generational. Like, it just comes down from generation to generation. Because I'm sure my grandparents' parents ain't celebrate their birthday. So they didn't celebrate my parents' birthdays.
Right.
So they didn't see anything wrong with not celebrating it.
Right.
But I guess for me, I was like, I don't know. I just felt like that did some type of damage to me as a child. So I'm like, I didn't want to continue that cycle of. I guess they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know. I don't think they were doing it with the intention of like
trying to hurt
causing
you,
me any like emotional damage or anything like that. But I'm sure that it did do something to me. I'm pretty sure. So I just didn't want to continue that with my kids. Even though birthdays are, I guess commercialized. It's been commercialized a lot with the parties and stuff like that. But I feel like they should celebrate, celebrate your birthday. That's why I try to do the absolute most on their birthdays, because I feel like if I don't, that it's going to damage them in some way. Yeah. Like, that's just my idea behind every birthday or holiday.
Right. Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, nah, I ain't doing that.
Just because my horrible, traumatized childhood, I guess. Like, I don't want them to be damaged in that type of way from missing anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's like just a community, like being around, like we not in the type of community that I was in. You feel what I'm saying? So at this point, like if I had to celebrate, like celebrating their birthdays, it's kind of like if you don't do it, then they gonna feel kind of like how you feel. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they not in a situation like I said, like I was in. They were more in a situation like you was in, right?
Like they're gonna notice, like
they're gonna know people celebrating birthdays, and they're gonna want to know why and stuff like that. So it's like it's just different. So it's like I guess it's just like how you the community that you're in, like with the area and stuff like that, the people that you be around and who your kids be around and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to say, hey, I'm not going to celebrate a birthday or I'm not going to celebrate Christmas or something like that.
Right.
And even if you do it to the smallest fashion, right? Like it ain't got to be nothing too crazy because, some people ain't in the situation where they can celebrate like Christmas or birthdays and stuff like that. So it's like even if you just do it in the smallest form or fashion, at least like, the kids or whatever remember that, hey, my mom tried to, or my dad tried to do something every year for us. And, we didn't have the biggest Christmas tree ever, or we didn't have the greatest gifts, but, we still went out to eat. We still did an activity or something like that. It still felt like it meant something. You know what I'm saying?
Because, like, the kids, like, with the holidays, usually, like, they don't, the gifts are, they're happy one second, but then they gonna forget about it anyway. So if you ask them, oh, what was your favorite gift? They ain't gonna remember. Right. So they're gonna be like, oh, well, my favorite thing was we make cookies. We make cookies every year. So it's like they remember the actual, like, things that we do, not like activities. The gifts. So like, oh, on your birthday, what was your favorite gift? They don't remember.
Right.
But they remember my mom makes me a cake every year on my birthday.
Right.
Any cake that I want. Like, I always make them a cake. And they remember that.
Right.
They don't remember the birthdays for, oh, yeah, well, we had, I got this gift on my birthday. This was my favorite. They just remember my mom makes me a cake every year from scratch. Every year. Whatever I want.
Right.
Whatever theme I want.
Exactly.
She makes me a cake.
And it's like the decorations and stuff like that. So, or going somewhere and...
Yeah, like every Christmas, we go see Christmas lights. They remember that.
Yeah, so, that's just... like how you mold them, and then they'll pass that on to like their kids and stuff like that, and it just kind of goes from there. Cause
do you feel like that's wrong to do though? Like, since we have different perspectives, as me, I do the most, and you, on the other hand, you don't really care to do the most or anything. Do you feel like me showing them like, oh, we have to do all these things to have a good Christmas or good birthday? Do you have like any disagreements about that, like that I do that.
I mean, I don't never have no disagreements about that you doing that. I just think like I don't like to force nothing. Like if it feels like I'm gonna be like it's forced or it's like I'm like panicking because it ain't gonna get done or something like that, then I think like you're just kind of putting too much pressure on yourself to do something, and it's really it's gonna make them feel good, but then you gonna feel bad because it's like, man, I'm doing so much just for like a little experience. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of like how I look at it. So I'm like, yeah, I would still do like the same things, like, you know, set up a birthday or whatever the case may be and gifts and all that. But like, I ain't gonna be like, oh, well, we got to go right here or we really need to make this or it gotta look this certain type of way or whatever the case may be. Because then it's like now it's too much pressure on yourself to do it. And that's what leads to like, you know, all the other stuff like, you know, anxiety and, you know what I'm saying? Like you just...
Well, what if you already have that? Then what?
And that just makes it even worse. That just makes it worse because it kind of flames up and just like you don't know what to... You don't really... Like you want to get it done so bad and just like you just be like overwhelmed and you just...
I feel like that's either that's like the normal. Like you can't get around that. If it has to be perfect, like that's where the anxiety comes from. Because it's like, okay, I can't ruin the event because this is what they're gonna remember, that I fucked everything up, and it's gonna be horrible. And
I mean,
that's why you get so anxious to make everything perfect so they have a good time, even though you're freaking crying in the bathroom about it, or stressed out. I mean, I feel like that's normal because anything I do, I'm gonna be stressed out and I'm gonna cry, I'm pretty sure. So it's just trying to execute the idea that I have so I don't ruin everyone's day with something.
Yeah. I mean, the word perfect is the problem right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like perfection. I know you want everybody to have a good time.
If you're not going to do it perfect, then I don't want to do it at all. If I don't feel like I can get it done, I'm not even going to try to do it. Now, if it's something that I know that I'm going to be able to execute, then I'm going to do it 100%. If I know I can't do 100%, I'm not even going to bother to put myself in that position to do it.
Yeah, well, you just got to, I don't know, you just got to put something out there. Like, it don't, like for me, I know if I was planning something. Why would I
put some 50% of work in when I know that I should be doing 100? So if I know I could do 100, I'm going to do 100. Why would I do 50% of something? And why would I even do it at all?
I think you got the right idea, but you saying it wrong, right? And what I mean by that is that you're not going to give 50%. You're going to give 100%, but 100% may still not turn out to be perfect, is what I'm saying.
That's not 100% then.
No, I mean, it's 100% of energy. Like, you putting, like, your all into something, and that don't mean it's going to just be perfect, though. It's going to be really good, but it may not be like every little T or every little check box may be checked. But you know at the end of the day that you gave it 100%. Like you didn't go out there and like you half-assed it. Like you didn't give it 50%. Like you're going to give it 100%. And if it don't come out perfect, then you still got to be like, hey, I gave it my all. Like I tried. You know what I'm saying? Like now if you give it 50%, and then it come out shitty or bad, then it's like, all right, well, I know I didn't give it my all, so I can't feel no certain type of way, right? Like it came out exactly the energy that I put into it. So you gonna give everything 100%, but it's just that it may not still be perfect though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may not come out exactly like you want it to, or it may, the end goal may not, you may not even be successful. You know what I'm saying? With the end goal, but at least deep down in your heart, you know that, hey, I gave it everything that I got, and I'm satisfied with that. That's what I be
But I guess
trying
that's
to
the
explain.
problem. I will not be satisfied with that. So that's why I guess I don't know. I guess why that puts me in bad positions because of that thought process. Because I'm not going to do something if I'm not going to get it right. If I have any little concern where it's like, okay, I might not be able to do it, I'm not going to do it at all. And I don't know why. I just feel like that's not good enough, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Just so
like
I
that, right?
won't, like, I guess, let myself down. I just won't even do it at all. If I have any type of
Doubt or
concern
anything,
that
yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do it, I'm not even going to put myself through I'm not even going to put myself through that to try to do it and then fail at it and then just feel worse than I did before I started.
And I mean, that's how a lot of people feel. Like, a lot of people don't start things because they feel like it's not gonna be like perfect, or it's not gonna come out what they expect. You know what I'm saying? And that holds like a lot of people in one spot. And it's like, you want to try something, you want to do something so badly, but like, you're just afraid that it ain't gonna work out.
Yeah.
So you're not even gonna try it.
Right.
And you just not even gonna like put yourself out there to like even see if it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because
Well, that's the anxiety of failure, and that's just like what hangs over you whenever you try to do anything in life. And I feel like that's held me back from doing a million things.
right.
Just that thought process.
Right. And I mean, but it'd be hard because you want something to come out perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, failing is hard. It don't ever feel good.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel good after it, because like, and what's crazy is like, people who really like, you could tell when like somebody like had a lot of failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody who had like a lot of failure, like, they still, depends on what type it is, right? What type of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now you could fail at something and like be that person like, okay, I'm gonna continue to push, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
and then there's
you.
people like, and then there's people like who fail and like they failed at something so bad like before that now like they just afraid to even
That's
like
me.
to like even try something. You know
So
what I'm
you're
saying?
the first one where you failed and you're just like, okay, I'm going to get back up and do something else. And me, I've failed maybe once or twice, and now I don't ever want to fail ever again. So I'm not even going to try to do anything because I don't want to feel like that ever again. Because now it's like that feeling has traumatized me in a way where I can't be in that place anymore, like ever again. And that's crazy how like people's brain works like that.
Yeah. It's just how people focus on things and how it is. Like, one failure could literally break somebody, and one failure could actually fuel somebody else to continue to go and just continue to build on whatever they had. And like you said, the other failure could be like, nah, I don't ever want to feel that again, or I don't ever want to go into that spot or in that dark hole.
Right.
And it happens to a lot of people, like not only just like day-to-day people, it's like successful people, athletes, like, you know, CEOs, business executives and all that. It's like you take like this huge loss, and then like a loss can break somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can put you in the spot to where like you just don't want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't want to be a part of anything, or like you don't want to go anywhere, or you know what I'm saying, you just like super depressed, and it's really hard to like come out of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like hard to build yourself out of that. So, and then,
And like not even talking about anything specific, but just thinking about it just like freaks me out and makes me feel like this.
right,
And I'm not even talking about doing anything.
right.
It's just the idea of trying to do something and it not working. Like just makes me feel overwhelmed.
Right, right.
And I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's like that fear is just like there all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't even like thinking about it. This is how it makes me feel. Even just thinking about it. Now imagine actually trying to do it and then I fail. Like, I don't know how I would feel. If I feel like this, just thinking about it,
Right, right.
I would be scared for myself. Like to feel how it would be if I actually tried to do something and it didn't work for me.
Right, exactly. And it's so hard to like kind of like manage those emotions, because I think part of the reason is like when you think about it, like you think about those one or two times where like you actually failed, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of like, I guess, puts you back into that mindset.
Yeah, like it like puts you back in that same like time. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. But you just go back to that, like that place.
Kind of like when you like listen to music, like you hear the song and
Yeah, like when
you remember when the first time you heard
remember
that
a song, or you smell something and like it makes you remember like a certain time. Like it just takes you back to that place.
Right. And then you just kind of feel those same emotions all again.
Yeah.
And it just kind of pours out. But yeah, like failure is hard. Like I don't sit here and say, even though you look at me like I just jump back on the wagon, but like I take failure hard too. Like,
I
like
guess
really,
it's different because you don't really show it. Like I've never seen you where you were like sad about anything. I don't think I've ever seen you sad at all since I've known you. Maybe like once ever. But other than that, it's like you show no type of emotion, I guess. Like the things that you do. So it always seems like you just get back up and try something else.
yeah, I mean, I don't, and people kind of say that about me too. Like, it's like, man, you just be cool and calm all the time, man. I mean,
but I'm like that too, but like to people who I don't know. Like people who I don't know would say, you know, she's always happy, you know, she's always helping people, she's always doing this. But then at home, like I just be a mess. So I would think like you would maybe put on that like face outside to people who don't know you, but then at home you know, I would see you'd feel down, but it's like you're just still the same. You show it. You don't show anything outside, and you don't show anything inside, like the home either. Like I've never seen you look down or anything like that.
yeah, I mean, things be making me down or upset, but it's like, it's kind of hard to like let it just like push me or like ruin my day or something like that. Like it's kind of hard because like I think, and it's probably from my childhood too, Because I know I was talking to my mom the other day about it, and she told me that, I need to start talking to the kids about it and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
but
because they
it was
don't
like,
know where that comes from, where all your, like, how you go about things or how you say things, they don't know where that's coming from. So like I said, it comes off like very off-putting and very harsh, and like you're just like, oh, well, I didn't have that, so y'all shouldn't be sensitive to that. Like, it just sounds bad because they don't know where it's coming from. Like,
right.
so it kind of just sounds like bad to them when you say things like that. But you should definitely like talk to them about like the things that you dealt with as a child, or, just so they understand, like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Like, why you say
right.
certain things are not important or things like that.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I plan on doing. Like, just giving them like the background story and why I think like that, and why I prefer them to not stress about things like that. Because I'm like, when I was younger and stuff like that, I think like I dealt with like so much as a child that now it's like man, like I don't know, like it's like, bro, like ain't much that
Yeah, you come
somebody
off very,
can do,
very nonchalant about everything.
because
Like,
it's like I
nothing
done been
bothers
through
you.
everything.
But it comes off as like, oh, you don't care. That's how it comes. I mean, it could come off. To me, that's how it used to come off. Like, oh, you just don't care, and you're just not empathetic to anything, and you're just insensitive to anything that's going on around you. That's how I felt, at least. I mean, now, I still kind of feel that way, but I kind of just have learned that it's more of like things that you dealt with as a child. So like the more I hear and learn about certain things that you dealt with, it makes sense now why you are the way you are. Like, it's not, because at first I really thought like you were just doing it on purpose. Like, you're just doing things like to do them purposely. But now, like, I kind of see certain situations that we've had, like, you're just used to, like, something happened before, and that's why you act or behave that way, or, deal with situations that way, because of things that happen in your childhood. So it makes sense now, like, how you deal with situations now as an adult.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kind of like reflect upon that, because what I was getting at was that, dealing with a lot, and I know you mentioned that I'm not empathetic, but it's like a lot of people that know me know I've done so much for them, and it be crazy to me because like I just get like these random messages from cats, like, and cats would be like, bro, I appreciate everything you did for me, such and such, such and such.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A few years back. And like, I don't want to say like I don't remember, like I remember the situation, but like it meant so much to them.
Like, you were just doing it just to do it. Like, it was normal.
Right.
for
It's
you.
like normal
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, but it meant so much to them. So it's like I be like, and I just be like, man, like like this year probably made me realize like I've impacted a lot of people's lives. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just based on the people that have been reaching out to me and stuff like that. And then I looked at it and I was just like, I'm like, bro, I would have just did it. I would have did this for anybody. You get what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have just like, yeah, of course, like I'm cool with you. We straight, everything. I'm gonna look out for you and all that. But like realistically, like I would have did this for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, whether I knew you for a long time, whether I knew you yesterday. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I can help you out, like I'm gonna try to help you out. And I think a lot of that came from like, I know exactly where that comes from, right? Because I remember like when I came to the United States and I was young, and like I literally didn't have like no friends at all, like no friends at all. And imagine just being like 8, 9 years old, and I didn't get like my first real friend until like the 5th grade, and I was like maybe like 11. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine in like 3 years of like just like loneliness, people picking on you, people bullying you, people just, you know what I'm saying? I got jumped in like the 4th grade. You feel what I'm saying? 3rd grade, matter of fact. And I just remember like, you know, the cat that wanted to become my friend, he was like one of the toughest dudes in the school, you feel what I'm saying? And I always just used to, till this day, every time I see him, I always ask him, bro. I always ask him, like, bro, like, why you want to, yeah, like, literally, like, why did you want to be my friend? Like, out of everybody. Like, nobody talked to me, nobody cared, you know what I'm saying?
So he was like,
probably, like, it had to be something like that, but, like, it's like, literally, and that's why I say it's so weird in school because it's like, you could literally be like a nobody, and then this one person be your friend, and now everybody want to be cool with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's literally how it went like day and night because everybody knew him. You know what I'm saying? He already made his name, and it's like elementary school. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once that kind of happened, like everything changed for me. You feel what I'm saying? So I always tell him, I'm like, bro, you don't know how much you done for me. Like that's somebody like I feel like did something to where it was like life changing. You feel what I'm saying? Because I mean, I don't know what would have happened. You know what I'm saying with me? Because like I was just like so angry all the time because like people just didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like I was doing like bad stuff because I had a lot of manners. Like I'm coming from elementary school to where like, you know what I'm saying, you'll get a whooping in school for not having manners, not saying yes ma'am, yes sir, stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like people used to pick on me for being like too proper, like having manners. Like it was crazy. And then my accent and all that. And then it was just like, wow. So I was just like, damn, like how the hell do I make friends with these cats out here? And you know what I'm saying? Nobody liked me for like just being what I was taught, like what I learned. And like I said, and then on top of that, I didn't celebrate birthdays and Christmas
so
and all
was like,
that.
Oh,
So it was
he's
like,
weird.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's
Doing
just like
stuff that we don't do. We're just weird.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, man, I can't really connect with nobody because, you know what I'm saying? Then, like I said, coming from the Bahamas, I didn't know nothing about football. I knew basketball. We played basketball. But I didn't know nothing about football. They used to play flag football a lot and stuff like that. And all the games and stuff like that, like manhunt and tag and all that. I knew nothing about none of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, this cat like literally from like another world or something. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that kind of like is how I am now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I done went through so much in that landscape that it's like, man, like I don't know what would be to where that I'd be bothered or something like that. That I just won't continue to go on with my day.
Right.
Cause like people would do all type of stuff to me, and it was just like, all right. It got to the point where I was like, all right, well, what they gonna do today?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, y'all already ripped over my backpack and threw all my shit on the floor. Like, you know how people used to see the stuff that like in movies and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the stuff that happened in movies, like that literally happened to me in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, people would zip over my backpack, dump all my stuff out on the floor. You feel what I'm saying? Pull down my pants in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff, like, and you know, it just got to the point where it's like, all right, well, I gotta stay here. So it's like, all right, well, what y'all gonna do tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all gonna do the next day and the next day? And then I just got to the point like, all right, well, I know you're gonna do that, so go ahead, dump all my stuff out. Let me pick it up real quick so I can go on about my day. You know what I'm saying?
You got to a point where you were just like, okay, I know it's gonna happen anyway, so I'm just gonna keep it moving. Like you didn't let it bother you.
Right. Cause and I think that's kind of like what it is now. Like, and I started to realize that it's like, man, if something bothers me, I'm just like, all right.
You don't say anything. You just go on.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's healthy, but
I just be like, all right, let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah, I've learned that about you, that you just very nonchalant. Don't let anything bother you, or it might bother you. You just don't care to say anything. It's not important enough for you to bring it up, I guess.
Right.
And me, I'm the opposite. I'm very sensitive to everything, and literally everything is gonna bother me. Any little thing.
Right.
And just going back to what you were saying, how people were like, or people saying like, yeah, you help them or motivate. Like that used to bother me a lot when you used to say like, oh, this person says how motivating you were to them, and I would just be like, you motivated them, like you ain't never motivate me like that. So I would just be confused, like why you would give so much to other people, but then like I would not receive any of that in return. So I'd be like, how is he motivating these random ass people? But me, the person who needs the most like motivating, like I don't get that from you.
I think it's just because the information is coming from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at, like, because, like, information is coming from me and we're together, and you look at it like me, you may think, like, hey, well, you just saying that to say that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to say that or whatever. Or you just trying to make me feel better. You feel what I'm saying? But when it comes from somebody who really, like, say if like I wouldn't quote unquote call them a stranger or something like that, but let's just say somebody that knows me and they ask me for advice or whatever the case may be, and I give them advice, it's not coming from a point to where like we're together. You feel what I'm saying? Like I have to tell them, you know what I'm saying? They don't feel like I have to tell them, oh, you're doing great, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you with somebody and let's just say if I tell you, hey, baby, that cake looks great, I might really think the cake looked great. But in your mind, you're like, oh, you just saying that because we together. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of hard to like motivate someone that you're with by just saying things. So what I try to do now is like...
Well, I guess because it's hard from someone who doesn't say anything to... When you do say something, it's like it's not believable. So I'm like, okay, this person never says nothing about anything. And now you're telling me something. It's like, how do I know that's even true or genuine? Like, you don't ever say anything. Like, nothing is ever important enough for you to be like, to talk about. So when you do talk about something, it's like, it's not believable. Like, to me, I just be like, I just think it's odd when you do come out and say something. Because I'm like, okay, you're just saying that just because. I don't know if that, because you don't ever say anything. So it's weird to come from someone who never talks about things to then come out and say, oh, yeah, you know, let me tell you this or that, or I don't know. It just seems off. So it's not, I don't receive it that way, I guess.
Right. That's why I say you're not really receiving it as like motivation.
Yeah.
Like you're receiving it as like, oh, well, like you just trying to say something now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think it's like a different point of view, because like I talk about things that I know about and stuff like that. And like people, like you kind of get to this point to where like people just know you for something. Mm-hmm. And so people are like, call you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like people will call me about like business advice, and like I don't have like a Fortune 500 company, right? You know, majority of the businesses I started didn't end up working out.
Right.
But because I talk about it and talk about it with them so much that I became like that person. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like whether I got like a business established or not, like people just want to know like some of the simple things, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the things that I would just some of the things that I think I'm just like a little bit ahead of them on, they'll just be like, hey man, what you think about this idea, or how could I start this or get this done? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then just like some of like my earlier stuff was like just being a friend to somebody, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody would be that person that I was, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger. Like they would be that young person that didn't have a friend or didn't have nobody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be that person. I'd be like, hey man, come here, let me roll with me, let me put you under my wing, and, you know, learn everything that I know, or hang around my friends and stuff like that.
Right.
Or let me introduce you to these people. These are people who I chill with. So now you got me as a friend, and now they gonna hang with you because I brought you there, and then y'all gonna figure out how to build a relationship with each other, and then, you know, we all gonna be friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like what I learned to do. And then, like I said, it all started with him, like my friend, you know what I'm saying? And it all started from there. So that's why I think I'm like big on that, like helping somebody, because like I said, like I was helpless. Like I didn't have nobody. Like my older brother wasn't even there, like for me to hang with. My little brother wasn't there. Like, so I didn't have like anybody to really hang with. And then like my cousins, they was all in different grades.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just hard. And like I said, once I got that one guy who looked out for me, it's just like I feel like I'm that guy now, you know?
So it basically plays like a big part in your social life. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you go about things because of that situation.
Right. Like huge, like, or just like how I handle things in general. Because prior to that, it's like, okay, like I know I'm gonna have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I already know like the day is gonna be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, how can I get through this day and like not let it affect me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want these cats to think they getting to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That way, I think that's kind of the reason why I didn't let it bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I don't want y'all to think that y'all gonna break me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not gonna break me. Ain't nobody gonna break me.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of like my ego right there. It's like, nah, I ain't gonna let y'all just do me like
pride.
that. Yeah, I ain't gonna just let y'all do me like that. So no matter what y'all do, I'm still gonna continue to come every day, continue to come to school, continue to do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all got to figure it out. Y'all got to come up with something new to do every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to be here. So y'all going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of remind me of like this commercial that I saw. Like it be random stuff that just remind me of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you may not know this NFL player, but it's a commercial. I don't know if it's an NFL commercial or it's a or like car insurance or something like that. But anyways, is this kid, he go to a new school and he wearing like the 49ers gear, like Christian McCaffrey gear. And in the first video of it, the kid was like, he had like another guy was sitting in the front of him and he turned back and he was like, nobody likes Christian McCaffrey, right? And then the kid was like, oh, we can't let him do us like that. And then McCaffrey popped up in the video and was like, yeah, he can't do us like that. And then they go to the store, his mom go to the store and buy more gear. So he comes back to school the next day with better gear on, right? And then the kid was like, McCaffrey still stinks.
Yeah.
And then the kid was like, Mom, we can't let him do us like that. So they go back and then he get more gear, come back to school. And then it's just like, that's exactly like how I was. Like, it was like, it's just crazy. And then the last part of it, like the kid was like, well, he's still trash. And then McCaffrey was like, well, it's just a tough, what do you say? Tough critic or something like that.
Yeah.
Tough. But like every time I watch that commercial, I be like, bro, that's exactly like how my childhood was.
I don't
like
think I've ever seen that commercial.
Like literally.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like every time I watch it and it comes on, I'll be like, man, that's exactly how I was. I'll come back the next day and the next day and the next day. You're going to have to figure out a new joke, new prank, new something, because I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no other choice. I gotta come to school.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm pretty sure like the guy noticed something or that you needed someone. So that's why he approached you. And I'm pretty sure he probably felt like that because maybe something similar happened to him and someone was there for him at the time. So he felt like, hey, I need to be there for this person. And it's like literally just going down. Like now you feel like that. So now you're doing it for somebody else. And now that person might take it along and say, hey, now I need to be there for this person. And you just started like a whole chain of events.
right.
from
So
there.
a whole different chain of events happened just based on that
On that
one cycle.
situation,
Yeah. Like, to this day, anytime I see that cat, I be like, dog, why the hell you want to be my friend, dog? Like, cool. He be like, bro, stop it, dog. Why you always out there? Come on, dog. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But for real, that's exactly how everything happened. Because number one, I was already, like, afraid to go to a new school because I'm like, well, I already got used to these cats. You know what I'm saying? So I had already got past that. And then it's like, well, now I got to go to a new school for it to happen all over
Start
again.
over again, yeah.
And yeah, I went to the new school and like I say, I was just chilling, sitting by myself at lunch, hanging out, doing nothing. And then, like I say, one day this cat, like literally we was walking from school because I stayed across the street from the school. Like literally I could wake up at 6:45. School started at 7 a.m. Wake up at 6:45 and get over there at 7 a.m. And I get over there, and like I said, it was just one day we was walking home from school, and he was just like, yo, you stay over there? I was like, yeah, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's exactly how I was. I was like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, I just moved over here. He like, where you from? You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm from the Bahamas, right? And then he was like, oh, okay. Okay. He was like, yeah, I know some people that's from the Bahamas. I was like, oh, okay. And like, I didn't know who he was or nothing like
So
that.
maybe
like,
that's another reason too.
you know what I'm saying? But he didn't know I was from the Bahamas
Oh.
before he talked to me. You know what I'm saying? And after that, it was crazy. Like, literally, he taught me how to skate and everything on four-wheelers. He'd take me to the skating rink, everything. It was crazy. Real. It was crazy. That's the reason why I always, anytime I see him, I talk about him or I talk to him or I
And what
ask
is he
about
doing
it.
now?
He in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a rough in the hood, man, coming out of the hood, dog.
But it's
But you know, that's why Terrence called me his god brother. Because my first friend was his cousin, Albert.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I was friends with Albert, and then he introduced me to Terrence. So those were like my first two friends ever. Like when I came over here.
Right.
So I knew them from like 10 years old.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the backstory in that.
Well, that's crazy how, like, people kind of can see, like, when people are going through stuff. And, like, I guess even though when you're not trying to show it, like, people notice, like, something's going on. Or, you know, hey, I need to, you know, lend a hand or talk to this person. Like, I don't see them with no one. Or, you know, maybe they need somebody.
Right.
It's crazy that people can see that.
Yeah, just could feel it, feel that energy, and that's exactly how that kind of went, man. Yeah, I think about it all the time. So that's why I be like, man, don't be worried about none of that, man. Don't let that get to you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it just takes like that one person to believe in you. That's what I think it is. It just takes that one person to believe in you and really like believe in you and really just be like, hey man, you can do it and do it as best as you can. So that's where like people be saying I motivate them or whatever the case may be. It's like, I just believe in you that you can do it. If you give it 100%, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, people don't always give it 100%. But I just tell them, like, if you do, like, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? You'll make it happen.
Right.
And that's all it is. It just takes that one person to believe in you. If you got one, then I'm telling you, it's going to start from there. It's going to start from there, and you're going to be able to, like, accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. But it's hard to, like, be the only person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to be, like, you, like, kind of feeling like you're against the world. Because, yeah, it's hard to be in those type of spots, in those type of positions. Because it sucks. So,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, that's where, like, the whole people feel like I motivated them or I helped them out. It's like, I just believed in you. And I did everything I can to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't just say, hey, oh, yeah, I believe in you. You can do it, blah, 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 and just left it alone. I'm, like, hitting you up, like, hey, did you work on that?
Right.
You say you're supposed to do that. Did you work on? Do you need my help? Do you need anything like I can get for you or something like that? Like I'm literally pouring into you so you can build it up. Not because I want something. It's just like, hey, I literally believe that you can get it done. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is.
Do you feel like you're harder on people who, like, you know more personally rather than, like, just like a person you just met?
Nah, I don't think I'm harder on. I think I'm hard on people in general, like just overall. I think, and that's what I kind of noticed as of
Like,
lately.
you're harder on me than other people. I feel like just because
I know.
you expect more from me, I guess, or I don't know.
I mean,
I've always, like, thought that or felt that way.
I know you. I mean, most people, not really.
'Cause I
I
guess
mean, I know. I can understand that why you feel that way because like we together and you feel like you see it more. Like I'm here more and like I'm here more with you and it's like a daily thing. But like I'm hard on like everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hard on everybody because I mean that's just me as a person. So it's like when I talk to somebody and I know they was gonna do something and they weren't doing it, I'm like, say, man, you supposed to be such and such, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? Like, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, you was supposed to get this done and it ain't get done.
Eyelash fell off.
So that's how I do it now because it's like I don't want anybody to feel like I didn't believe in them. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why like I'm hard on people or just hard on folks because I don't want nobody.
But I don't feel you're hard on anyone.
Man, I'm hard
I
on
just
a lot
feel
of
like
people.
you're hard on me because
I'm hard.
I don't know
I'm
why,
hard on
honestly.
everybody.
And then to me, it just, like, before, it didn't come off as, like, motivational. Like, it would just make me feel worse than I already felt. It really didn't help me, like, your approach that you had. So then when I would hear other people, like, say, oh, you're so motivational, I'd be so confused. 'Cause I'm like, I don't get that from the stuff that you say to me. So I'd be like, okay, like, why are you harder on me than other people? But then I would think like maybe it's because you expect more from me, or I don't know. I still don't really understand. I know more how to deal with it now. Like from the things that you say, I don't really take it like personally as I used to. Because now I know, I kind of understand like where it comes from. Like you're not trying to be mean, even though it comes off really mean. So I just, I don't really, I mean, I listen to what you're saying, but I don't really, I guess I'm more self-aware, and I know, like I said, like, I know the things that I can accomplish, and if I can't accomplish them, like, I just have a hard time even trying to do it. So no matter what you say or tell me, I know, like, the person that I am, I know I'm not going to be able to do it. So,
And I think that's why you feel like I'm hard on you. You feel like I'm hard on you because I know you can do it, and I believe in you can do it.
well, you don't
but
know.
you don't feel like I do know.
No, you
But that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
You
I
think
know that you
that
can
I
do
can
it.
do it, but I feel like you're not. I feel like you're not educated enough on, like, what I'm going through or what I deal with. So you just expect me to be able to do all these things when in reality I cannot. Like,
But-
physically or mentally
Like,
do certain things because of, what I'm dealing with, like, in
right.
life.
But that's what I'm saying. Outside of like that, what I'm saying is that if you had like, let's just say if you wasn't dealing with those things, like, you can do anything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm sure if I
Right.
was
So,
mentally
and that's how I
stable-
look at it. You know what
right.
I'm
So
saying?
that's what I'm saying. You're not
So when
really
I-
aware of, like, my mental stability. So you just
No, that's
think
what I'm
I
saying.
could do
I'm
any and
aware of
everything.
that, but I'm saying that has nothing to do with like your talents. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but I could have a million talents, but my anxiety is not going to allow me to do anything. Why? Because
Correct.
anxiety is just fear of doing
Correct.
anything.
Correct. So
I
that's what
can
I'm saying.
have
Talent
a
wise,
million talents, but how can I do anything with my anxiety?
correct. And that's why I say I'm looking at it talent wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at it from a standpoint of fear, like, I don't feel like I can complete the task.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it from talent wise, like, hey, yes, you can do this based on the talents that you have. And that's how I look at everybody. I don't know what other people are going through mentally because we don't talk about mental and, stuff like that, anything that they're going through. So it's like, I look at you talent wise. If you got the talent, I'm going to say, hey, yes, you can do it. If you don't have the talent, then I'm going to say, hey, well, you need to go learn these specific things, and then you're going to be able to do what you want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I base it. That's how I motivate people, because I'm like, if you don't know it, then you can go learn it. And if you do know it, then you're going to excel at it because you know it. And then if you do know it and you're good at it and then you like doing it, then you definitely going to win. You know what I'm saying? That's just an easy, successful recipe.
But then for me, or for someone who is dealing with other things, like, how can that same idea pertain to them if we have different obstacles that are gonna, be in the way of us trying to do something?
It don't really retain the same. It's just like, that's all that I know, is what I'm saying.
So your
That's all I
type of
know.
motivation would not work for me, because you're talking to someone who is 100% like able to do anything, or, does not have any obstacles in their situation, I guess. Then that would work for them, the things that you're saying.
I mean, anybody that's willing to put in the work is what I'm saying, regardless of the outcome.
But what if I'm willing to put in work, but I'm
Regardless
not
of the
mentally
outcome.
able to do that?
Regardless
How is
of the
that?
I mean, because when you're not mentally able to do something, you're concerned about the outcome. So that's why I said,
Well, I'm saying, like,
somebody who's willing to
mentally,
put
as in like
the work, regardless.
medically not able to do it. Like, mentally, if you're not mentally stable to do something, how can I do something that, when I'm dealing with something that's making me not be able to do that?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like why is it making
Why?
you not do that?
I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like
It's some type
I can't
of reason.
give you
Like,
those
you kinda,
answers.
what you
To
talked
me,
about earlier
what
is
they-
like it might
yeah,
be out
what-
of fear. It might be out
that's
of
what. If you look
anger.
up anxiety is just fear. It's fear. It's people have social anxiety where they can't even talk to people because they're
Right.
so scared, or it just makes them overwhelmed. Like it's a lot of different emotions that come from anxiety.
Right.
And it's like, people have to be medicated for those things.
Right. That's what I'm
So
saying.
it's not
I'm
like something I can be like, oh, okay, I don't feel anxiety anymore. I can just go do whatever. I can't. Like I can't physically go throughout a day without not feeling like that, is what I'm trying to explain to you. So it's like, how can your type of idea of motivation help someone like me who obviously I can't do certain things because I get too anxious. I get depressed, so sometimes I can't even get out of bed or want to do anything. Like how could that help me when I can't just be like, oh well, okay, I'm not gonna be depressed today. I can't do that.
No, I'm not saying
not
that you can change
realistic.
your mindset. I'm saying like I motivate people regardless of the outcome. That's the key word there, is regardless of the outcome. When you're dealing with, mental health, anxiety, depression, it's focused around the outcome. It's like, hey, I'm afraid to talk to people. I have anxiety to talk to people. So the outcome is like you going to talk to people, right? So I can't motivate you to go speak to people if that's something that is just not a social norm for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the outcome would be for you to be more social and stuff like that. But it's like I can't motivate you and be like, hey, yeah, you need to go out there to talk to people or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It would have to be something to where that you feel up to the task,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got to be, I'm motivating people that's up to the task. Like that's like, man, I don't believe that I can, run 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
They already running.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't believe that they can run 5 miles. And then it just takes that one person to believe in you to say, hey, you can run 5 miles, bro. Let's work on it like this. 2 miles here, 1 mile there. You know what I'm saying? Let's build up to 5 miles and I'll do it with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the motivation comes into play. But like, I think a lot of folks that deal with, like, it's doctors and all type of people out there that kind of talk about this stuff, but I think a lot of it has to come from within. Like you have to feel like, hey, I want to at least give it a shot and give it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like whoever dealing with anything that they dealing with, like, yeah, I feel like it has to come from within. Like nobody can motivate you, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like all the stuff, like the folks that be doing all the motivation. Like I'm a highly motivated person, and like I even listen to some of the stuff that these cats wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, take a cold shower, run 5 miles. That don't even motivate me, but what motivates me is from like within. Like,
So how does that work though? Like you being such a motivated person, being around like someone like me who's not a motivated person. Like I'm the total opposite. Like how does that work?
what you mean? Like, how does it work? Like, how
does that work?
How does
Like,
it affect me? Is what you're saying?
Like how does that, me being the opposite of how you feel, not being motivated or not being like, I guess, so active to throw myself into things, like how does that play a part in, I mean, because we're obviously in each other's lives, so it's like, what does that do for you?
I think before it's like I used to be like, damn, like you didn't want to do nothing and stuff like that. And then it got to the point to where like now it's just like I just try to focus on like what I can control. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't control the way that you're gonna feel the net tomorrow or later on today. You feel what I'm saying? That's like within you, the way that you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now I just look at it like, all right, well, let me do what I can on my behalf to like continue for me to grow as a person. Like, I don't like the fact of where people be like, and let me say I don't like, but I just think like nobody should be able to stop you from growing as a person. So like if you want to grow as a person, then you should continue to grow as a person. Now, if you with somebody or somebody around you, I don't care, mom, dad, blah, 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 whoever, like, if you feel like they're holding you back or they're stopping you, then that's just you within you stopping yourself, because it's nothing that you can't do by yourself to help grow or help motivate yourself or help start yourself. Like I said, it does feel better when somebody believes in you. But if you keep fighting for somebody to believe in you, you keep chasing somebody to believe in you, then it's going to be harder for somebody to be that person instead of just starting to build and then somebody starts to believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Like people start to come around and people start understanding who you are as a person and how you're trying to grow. So, and that's just how I look at it. I'm like, even though you feel a certain type of way, that shouldn't stop me from like trying to grow. You get what I'm saying? Like that shouldn't stop me from being like, okay, well.
But does it affect you in any way? If I'm not feeling good or feeling the best today, does that affect you in any way?
I don't think it necessarily affect me unless like we doing something together. And then I can feel like, you know, you're not really into it and stuff like that. And then I just be like, all right, well, you know, if you ain't really into it, then, you know, we could try it again tomorrow or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do it another time. I think that's kind of like what a effect happens. And it doesn't more like daily routine or anything like that. Like, nah, it don't really affect me to say, hey, well, I'm not going to be motivated because you're not motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not like my character, but that may affect like, you know, somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, it may rub somebody else a certain way.
Yeah, I feel like that's how I am. Like I'm more of like an energy type person. Like let's say if you're upset or something, that's gonna make me upset. Like if you're walking around, you got an attitude, then I'm gonna feel like I have to have attitude too. Like I don't know, it just kills my like the energy, and I feel I feed off of people's energy. So any way you're feeling, I feel like that kind of pushes me towards that type of emotion. Like if you're in a bad mood, then I'm gonna be in a bad mood too.
Right. And that's the
If
thing.
you're in a good mood, that kind of helps me because then I kind of fight how I'm feeling because I don't want to like bring your feeling down. So if you're like in a good mood, then I kind of try to feed off that so I can kind of, I guess, pretend to be in a good mood so I don't like kill everyone's vibe and like be the fucking negative Nancy around everyone. So that kind of helps like to be around that type of energy. But yeah, I feel like I kind of mimic people's energy. Whatever I'm around, that's how I'm going to pretend to feel, really.
Right.
So...
And that's what I say. So it's like you feed off people energy, and what I
because I feel like I can't feel like how I want to feel. Because if I did, like I would probably just be sad and crying all day, all like literally 24/7. That's just how I feel. But I feel like that would just bring everybody down. So I feel like I'm not allowed to do that. Like I just have to pretend all the time, everywhere, at work or home, like. Because then I don't want y'all to be like, oh, why are you in a bad mood? Like, oh, why you have attitude? Or why are you looking like that? Like,
I think more
like
or
I have
less
to
like
pretend.
the kids would probably be like that.
Yeah, well, they notice it. I feel like you just already know and you just don't, like you already know, like, not to bother me about it because I wouldn't, like, I really don't want to talk about it because I just don't feel like there's nothing you could say that would change anything for me. So I would rather not even speak about it. But that's why I just try to, I guess, not show it as much, but sometimes I just can't help it. And I really just feel like shit and I just can't pretend or like it just shows like I don't be trying to do it on purpose. Like I really be trying to hide it most of the time, but it's difficult to do.
Right.
24/7.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's different when you like attach to somebody energy. And what I realized lately, like I don't like people energy don't affect me, but I realize that I'm an energy changer. Like I can shift somebody else's energy.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that as of lately, like just dealing with like being a supervisor and stuff like that and dealing and talking to people, like I realized that you can literally shift somebody's energy. Like they could come in all aggressive and feeling some type of way, be mad as hell. And it's just the things that you say to them and the way that you say it and how you look and how your response is and stuff like that. Like you can literally just shift their whole energy, you know what I'm saying, and change it.
People feed off of that, off of, things that you say and do.
Right. And that's kind of like what I've recently learned. I was like, well, I could just kind of, joke about it and then like, kind of get into, what I'm saying, be a little serious, a little stuff like that. And then, in between just balance it. And then like people whole energy is so they're like, man, you know what? It wasn't really even that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? After the fact. And I think that's truly interesting just to knowing that's possible to be able to shift somebody's energy and stuff. So
yeah,
it's pretty good. Yeah.
I do want to say, like talking about that, like I guess pretending to, feel good or not really showing your emotions as much, like people see through that. Some people can see right through it, like that you're faking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this situation at work where I was training this lady for like 2 weeks. She was really nice, really nice lady, and she don't speak English. So I don't know why it's making me so emotional, but like I feel anytime I like deal with people who don't speak English, like it just reminds me of my parents.
Right.
Because I always had to help them do things because they didn't speak English. And they always like had a hard time with everything because they didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
So I was like 5 or 6 trying to help them do stuff like that I shouldn't have been doing, like signing up for school and doing all the school. Like I literally did everything because they couldn't read the paperwork. They couldn't do anything.
Right.
Doing checks, going to the bank with it. Like I was literally doing things that a child shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
But I felt like I had to help them because I spoke English. They didn't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I deal with people who don't speak English, like I feel like I have to help them.
Right.
Like I feel like I have to do it because it just reminds me of my parents and all this stuff like that they had to go through. So I had to train this lady, and I was working for I think I trained her for like a week or so, and I could tell like she was kind of having a hard time because, again, like everything we do, everything's in English. All the customers, they speak English. I mean, some speak Spanish, but mostly English. And I'm like, I just kept thinking like, what a hard time she's going to have because people are going to come up to her and ask her stuff and she's not going to be able to answer them. Like, she's not going to know what they're saying.
Talking about.
All our devices, they're in English. So it's like, how is she going to know how to do anything? I was just really concerned for her. And so, I try to do what I can and I try to, show her things, try to make it a little bit easier. I was able to put her device in Spanish to help her. I didn't even know it could go in Spanish.
Right.
I was literally just looking through settings and just reading stuff to try to figure out if I could change it. And I was able to change it in Spanish. Oh my gosh, she was so happy.
Right.
And so that helped her a lot. So we did that. I trained her for like a week or so, and this was like maybe 2 weeks ago. So the other day it was, on our app, it shows us your employees' birthdays that are coming up.
Right.
And every time it's somebody's birthday, we all try to do something. Like our boss, he'll buy cupcakes and, whatever. We'll say happy birthday and they just give them cupcakes.
Right.
So it was like maybe like 3 or 4 people's birthdays that same week. And this was like a couple of days ago. And I saw it was her birthday. Well, I didn't really know it was her because I didn't know her last name. I couldn't remember. I know she told me, but I'm like, okay, this got to be her. This is the only person who's in. It said our department. This is the only new person.
Right.
I'm like, this got to be her. So it was her birthday and 3 other people's birthdays. And so I was like, one of my friends, he was like, oh, I guess they're going to get her cupcake. He was like, you want to put in so we can get her like a gift or something, like a little, a little small gift. I was like, yeah, sure. Because her birthday was a day where I didn't work. I was off that day. It was probably like a Thursday or Friday.
Right.
And so I didn't, eyelash fell off again. Okay, whatever. Okay, it fell off. So it was like a Thursday or Friday. And so I was like, hey, I'll send you like $15-20 and just get her, we had like the little gift sets at Walmart or whatever. Like for Christmas, they had the little gift sets. And I was like, I seen this little Starbucks. It was like a little Starbucks mug and it came with like hot cocoa or whatever.
Right.
I was like, oh, you can get her that. And then like maybe like a little lotion thing or something. So I got her that and they ended up giving it to her. And I had texted her and I was like, hey, happy, because she asked me for my number too. She's like, oh, if I need help, when you're off, can you please like give me your number? And, if she ever needs help. I was like, yeah. So I gave her my number, whatever. I was like, yeah, if you ever need help or you're in the store, you don't know where I am, like just text me, I'll come help you, whatever. So then I texted her and I told her happy birthday. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. I love the gift. You didn't have to do that, whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, no problem. I hope you have a great day, whatever. So then after that, maybe a couple of days after, I seen her and I went into work and I was like, oh, how was your birthday? She was like, it was great. She's like, how did you know it was my birthday? Like, she was like, I was so surprised that y'all even got me anything because, like, how did y'all know it was my birthday?
Right.
And I had showed her, like, on the app. I was like, oh, if you go on the app, it shows you everyone's birthday. She's like, oh, my gosh. Like, she's like, I was so shocked and was confused as to how y'all knew my birthday.
Right.
She's like, I didn't want anyone to know. And she's like, they got me cupcakes and they got me, your gift. And she was like, I was just so happy. It was nice, whatever. So that was like in the morning. So then after, when she was leaving,
Right.
she called me and I was somewhere in the back and she was like, hey, I'm about to leave. Can you please come outside? Like, I need your help with something. I was like, oh, okay. So I went to the back room and I didn't see her. And then she called me again. She was like, hey, I'm outside by my car. Like, can you come out here real quick? Like, I don't want you to get in trouble or anything. And I was like, okay. So I was kind of confused. I'm like, what happened? Like her car messed up or something? So,
Right.
So I'm thinking I probably got to give her a ride home or something.
Know nothing about no cars.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, probably have to give her a ride home or something. So, So then I walk outside and it's all dark outside. So I'm like, I'm trying to look for her. I don't know what kind of car she has. And I see her and she's waving from her car. So I'm walking towards her car. And she gets out her car and opens the passenger seat and takes a bag out of the car. Right. And then, like, as I'm getting closer, I'm, like, trying to see what it is. It's like a gift bag. So then I see the gift bag. It's a Michael Kors, like, gift bag. Like, like the bags, and it says Michael Kors on it. And I was, like, looking at her like, okay. And then she's like, hey, this is for you. And I was like, no. Like, it's not my birthday. It's your birthday. Like, I can't take that. Like, especially it says Michael Kors. Like, why would you get me something? Like, it's not my birthday. And she was like, well,
It's all right, baby.
She was like, I got you this. Like, after we did our training, she's like, I got you this. And I was going to give it to you for Christmas. But she's like, I wanted to give it to you now because she's like, I feel like you really need it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think you do need it because she's like, you're a really great person and you have a great heart. And she was like, I can tell, like, you're going through something.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm fine.
Right.
And then I just started crying. And she was like, I know you're going through something. Like, I can tell. Like, and she was like, I know
Right.
because she's like, you're always so happy and you're always helping everyone. You're always making everyone laugh. And she was like, the happiest people are always the saddest people.
Right.
She was like, I know that's you. Like, I could see in your eyes, like, something is wrong. Like, you're going through something and you're hurting inside. And she's like, I just feel like I have to tell you what a great person you are. And that I'm happy that you're here and that I met you. And she's like, you deserve to hear that. You deserve to know that you have a great heart. And she's like, even though you're going through so much, you try not to show it. She's like, but I can tell. She's like, even through all the happy stuff, every time I ask you how your day is or how you're doing, you always say you're fine. She's like, I know you're not fine.
Right.
And I was just like
crazy.
shocked because I'm like, how would you know that?
Right. That's crazy.
Like, I'm so, like, I don't want to say fake at work, but like, no one knows, like, what I deal with on a daily. Like, I'm always just laughing or making people laugh, just making jokes or just being silly. Like, so I was just shocked that she even, like, saw right through that.
Right.
Like, how?
Yeah.
And
Like,
and she was like, I just want you to know you have a really great heart and, like, you deserve it. She's like, I really wanted to give you this and you deserve it and you helped me a lot and you didn't have to. She's like, even after everything you're going through or whatever you might be going through in life, you still took the time out to, like, help me and give me your time when you didn't have to. She
Right.
was like, there was so many people who I asked for help and they didn't want to help me. And you, the person going through the most, took your time out to help me. And she was like, I really appreciate that. And she's like, you're a really good person. And she's like, I felt like I had to tell you that. And I just wanted to give you this gift. And I just felt bad. Like, I didn't want to take anything from her because I wasn't doing it to, like, get a gift or anything. Like, I just felt like I had to do it. I don't know. But what she said, like, I don't know. I was just shocked that she just saw right through, like, my facade.
right.
that
Everything that you do.
yeah.
You just
No,
kinda
I don't
like,
think anyone else notices. I just try to go through the day, without making it noticeable, of course, because I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want to talk about it with anyone. But just the thought that she, like, saw me, like, that's who I am. Like, she actually saw me as that person. That was just shocking to me. And then just the stuff that she said, like, she doesn't even know me. Like, she didn't, like, how do you know I'm a good person? Like, you
Right.
don't know, like, you just met me.
Some
How
people
did
just
she
can
know
feel
anything?
the energy.
Yeah.
Just can feel your energy, and some people just know. Like, some people just see it. Some people can feel it. Like, I think, like, we all just bundles of energy, and sometimes some people just know
I was
and
just shocked.
just recognize it.
Yeah, and then I just felt like I didn't deserve. I just kept telling her I don't deserve that. She's like, yes, you do. She's like, you deserve this, and she's like, you deserve a lot more, and you need to accept that you do deserve good things and nice things to come into your life.
Right. Did you feel like that motivated you?
Not motivated me, but it just made me think or realize, like, I don't feel like I deserve things. Like, I just realized that I feel that way. Like, I don't deserve certain things for some reason. Like, why me? I'm a nobody. Why do I deserve anything? And she just made me think, like, why would I deserve anything? Like, I'm not nobody special. I don't feel like I'm anyone anyways. So that just
But I
made me
tell you
think,
all
like,
the
why
time.
does she see me that way? Like,
Because you are somebody special, and people can see it. I can see it. She saw it.
but that
some
just made
people
me
just
think,
see,
like, wait, like, how or why? Like, why don't I see that? So that was
Just
it was
hard.
just like shocking to me that like a stranger would say something like that or think that way of me.
I think it's hard to see it in yourself,
Yeah.
but she see
I
it.
thought that was really nice, and it just made me cry. And I just kept telling her, like, I'm embarrassed, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know why I'm crying. And she was like, it's okay to cry. And I just kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm just really embarrassed, and I'm sorry for crying. Like, this is so awkward.
All right.
And she just kept saying that it was okay, like, I don't have to be embarrassed. And then, like, the next, like, I didn't open the gift. I just took it to the car, and then I went back inside. Then I went to the bathroom, and I just sat in the bathroom for a while, and I just cried a little bit. And then I just went back to work like nothing happened. And then when I was getting off of work, I just sat in the car, and I was like, I didn't even want to open what she got me because it had already seemed like too much.
Right.
Like, just from the bag. Like, I'm like, okay, this don't seem like it's cheap. Like, Michael Kors is not cheap, no matter what it is.
Right.
So then I opened the bag, and it was like a Michael Kors purse.
Right.
I was like, I know this is expensive. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more than $50.
Right.
And so then the next day, I was like, I'm going to give it back to her. I don't feel right taking this from her. Like, I don't feel like I deserve it at all. Like, I didn't do nothing to deserve it. So then the next day I told her, and I couldn't even talk to her because then I wanted to start crying again. I was like, I'm trying just to figure out what to say so I don't start crying in front of, like, everyone.
Right.
But I just, like, pulled her to the side, and I was like, I can't take that gift. Like, it's too much. Like, I don't feel right taking it. She was like, I'm not going to take it back.
Right.
She's like, I got it for you. And she's like, you deserve it, and I'm not going to take it back. And I'll be very offended if you try to give it back. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, well, thank you.
Right.
And then that's it. It was just like a very...
She saw the light in you, baby.
Yeah,
Saw the
I don't
light.
know what she saw, but definitely
Let's go
saw
on.
right through my work character.
Right.
So that was crazy. That has never happened like that before. I was just shocked that just someone would do something like that.
Yeah. I think that was good.
I guess, like, I impacted her some way, I guess, from, being helpful when other people didn't want to help her.
And that's it. I told you believed in her. You believed in her. And that's how those conversations I be having feel the same way. Like, you just believe in her. Yeah. Well, all right. This was a good one.
It's a lot of crying.
All right, then. Tell them I'll see them on the next one.
Hopefully there's no crying in the next one.
All right. All right, y'all. Later.